Did they think you would stay down? Did they believe the weight they placed on your chest would crush the air from your lungs forever? They watched you bleed. They measured your silence for weakness. They whispered your name in past tense. But here you are, breathing. And that sound, each inhale, each exhale, is the first note of their funeral song. They left you in rooms where the walls closed in. They handed you betrayal like it was a gift wrapped in smiles. They built their happiness on the graveyard of your confidence. And when you asked for help, they offered you excuses. When you asked for truth, they fed you comfortable lies. They thought your kindness was a leash they could pull. They thought your patience was a cage you would never break. They were wrong. Write this down, memorize it. Carve it into the inside of your skull where no one can erase it. Pain is not a wound, pain is a weapon, and they just handed you the sharpest blade in existence. Every scar they gave you is a map. Every tear you swallowed is fuel. Every night you spent staring at the ceiling, questioning your worth, rebuilding yourself alone in the dark that was your training montage. They didn't break you, they baptized you. In fire, in ice, in the kind of solitude that forges monsters. They wanted you soft, they needed you predictable. A nice guy, a good man, someone who plays by rules written to keep him weak. But you feel it now, don't you? That shift, that thing growing in your chest where your heart used to be. Something colder, something harder, something that doesn't ask for permission. You stopped explaining yourself. Good. You stopped seeking their approval. Better. You started moving in silence while they still screamed your failures from rooftops. Perfect. They don't get to know your plans. They don't get to witness your process. They get to see the results. And results are a language that needs no translation. If you're still listening, you're not like them. You're the one who survived what would have killed them 3 times over. You're the one who took the hit, absorbed the impact, and kept walking while they were still celebrating your collapse. You are the exception, and exceptions are dangerous. They think quitting looks like surrender. They think it's a white flag and a tearful apology. They don't understand. Quitting is when you stop being a threat. Quitting is when you let them see you cry. Quitting is when you answer their texts, when you justify your absence, when you soften your edges to make them comfortable. Never let them see you quit. Let them see you disappear. Disappear into the work. Vanish into the weight room at 2 a.m. Melt into the books that sharpen your mind. Become a ghost in their world, but a god in your own. While they post their happiness, you build yours in silence. While they sleep, you evolve. While they talk, you execute. Your silence is not emptiness. It is a loaded gun. And every day you don't speak is another bullet in the chamber. They expected anger. They prepared for your rage. They had their speeches ready for when you exploded. But you didn't explode. You imploded. You imploded. You collapsed inward. You became a black hole. And now nothing they say reaches you. Nothing they do touches you. You are ice. You are stone. You are the winter that kills their spring. Your spine is steel now. Your will is iron. Your heart is a frozen lake, beautiful on the surface, deadly beneath. They can't drown in you anymore. They can't swim in your emotions. They can't fish for your sympathy. You are closed, permanently. And closure is not something you ask for. It is something you build, brick by brick, betrayal by betrayal. Comment unbreakable if you feel this. If you feel that thing in your chest that doesn't flinch anymore. That part of you that stopped asking why and started asking what's next. The part that looks at pain and sees profit. That looks at loss and sees leverage. They created what they fear. Every time they chose someone else over you, they added another layer to your armor. Every time they laughed at your dreams, they sharpened your focus. Every time they left you out, they taught you to stand alone. And standing alone is where power lives. Wolves don't travel in packs because they're weak. They travel in packs because they're bored. But the lone wolf, the one exiled, that one learns to hunt differently. That one becomes the thing the pack whispers about around fires. You are that wolf. You are that storm. You are the fire they started but can't control. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them scroll through your life like it's a mystery they can't solve. Let them see the new car but not the 100-hour weeks. Let them see the new body but not the 1,000 lonely reps. Let them see the confidence and mistake it for arrogance. Let them see the success and call it luck. Let them see everything and understand nothing. That is your revenge. Not a screaming match, not a social media post, but a life so undeniable that their excuses rot in its shadow. Share this with someone who needs to remember who they are, not who they pretend to be for likes. Not who they shrink into for acceptance, but who they were before the world told them to be small. Who they are when the lights go out and it's just them and their ambition. Who they become when pain is no longer a problem, but a protocol. Pain is your weapon. Never let them see you quit. Say it again. Pain is your weapon. Never let them see you quit. This is your mantra. This is your war cry whispered into a pillow at 3 a.m. This is the truth they can't unhear when they see your name in lights. You don't heal. You harden. You don't forgive. You forget they ever mattered. You don't move on. You move up. And you do it with such ruthless efficiency that they question whether you were ever really broken at all. Maybe, they think, maybe he was just collecting pieces. Maybe he was just gathering ammunition. Maybe every tear was a bullet, every scar was a scope, every broken promise was a target acquired. They want you to quit. They need you to quit, because your persistence is proof that they were wrong. Your success is evidence that their power was an illusion. Your silence is a mirror showing them their own emptiness, and they can't stand the reflection. So don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you bleed. Bleed in private. Bleed into your work. Bleed into the weights. Bleed onto the pages. But never let them see the wound. Let them see the weapon. Let them see the result of all that blood. Let them see you. You standing where they said you'd never stand. You, holding what they said you'd never hold. You, being what they said you could never be. And when they ask how, when they demand answers, you smile. That cold, sharp, joyless smile that doesn't reach your eyes, and you say nothing, because pain is your weapon, and silence is how you wield it. They thought they broke you. They thought they ended you. They thought they won. But all they did was forge the blade. All they did was sharpen the edge. All they did was create the very thing that will cut them from your life forever. You are not a victim. You are a vector. You are not a survivor. You are a signal fire in the dark. And they are the moths that will burn themselves against your light trying to understand it. Never let them see you quit. Let them see you become. Let them see you become. Let them see you build. Let them see you win. And let them realize too late that every brick in your fortress is made from the stones they threw. The last thing they'll hear is the sound of your footsteps walking away. The last thing they'll feel is the chill of your indifference. The last thing they'll see is your back as you climb higher without them. And that is how you win. Not by fighting them, but by becoming someone they can no longer touch. Pain is your weapon. Silence is your shield. And your life is the only victory that matters. Now go. and give them nothing, not your pain, not your process, not your power. Give them only your shadow, and make sure it's long enough to cover their entire world.